So this is what space smells like, at least in Massachusetts, where folks got high this morning for the first time, legally at least. The Bay State voted to legalize pot for personal use in 2016, but the state was not ready to open the first marijuana stores for recreational consumption until today. Joining me from Northampton, Massachusetts, Dan Adams. He's the cannabis reporter for the Boston Globe, which has launched a new section dedicated to marijuana coverage. He's also the author of This Week in Weed, that newsletter. Dan, welcome. I bet that title goes over well when you tell people what you do.
It's a cool job. I won't deny it.
So what's it like there on day one for marijuana legalization in Massachusetts, the first state on the East Coast?
Well, to be honest, the weather here is absolutely miserable. It's been sleeting and raining all day. It's cold, maybe low 30s, mid 30s. But folks here are in good spirits. They're braving the weather. I had a line of hundreds earlier stretching around the block. It's dwindled a little bit now, and they've been taking folks into the store, about 10 people at a time, and processing them through there, and they've been coming out with their marijuana.
So the Massachusetts DOH expects $219 million for the first year of revenue from this. How is Massachusetts doing it differently, though, from Colorado or California? And who is allowed to open up stores and who they're trying to economically help with this?
Sure. Well, the first wave of stores that are opening are all existing medical dispensaries. And by and large, those are businesses owned by people who are well-connected, well-established, who have access to capital. But the way that the law is written here, it recognizes that there have been really drastic racial disparities in how drug laws have been enforced in the past. People of color arrested at much higher rates than white people for the same crimes, for possessing marijuana. And so the law here is designed to incentivize ownership by people of color, ownership of marijuana businesses. So far, that has not come to fruition. It's been a difficult process. And one of the biggest reasons is federal prohibition. It's very hard to get a loan like another small business might.
So those who were previously convicted of marijuana felony offenses get to apply earlier?
Close, not exactly how it's defined. It's people who are from communities that had high rates of drug arrests, and there's some other variables that they look at. They look at sort of a matrix of different variables in deciding who gets that status.
And then how do they expect this to impact the community up there? I mean, California, it's been pretty successful with the rollout out there. There were some bumps in Colorado early on. After all, they were the first state. How does Massachusetts hope that this, how does it hope it'll be better than the others?
Well, our rollout has been a little bit different. Unlike a state like California, which had a very large semi-regulated marijuana market where you had different regulations in different places, we've had a very slow, some might say too slow, and methodical rollout. And so we don't have this gray market that we've got to get rid of before we roll out the regulated one. And so I think that you'll see a more deliberate rollout here, but one with maybe a little bit less chaos than was seen in some of the other states.
Dan Adams with the most envious title in the journalism business. Dan Adams. Dan, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.